Accepting growth and the stages it comes with. My cancer ways shine through sun rays and is expressed through every moon phase. My mood ricochets off the different ways of interaction. The challenge been balanced as I do gymnastics with this emotional intellect. Proud of the fact I notice what I reflect. Proud of the fact I practice the exercise of introspect. Fighting all my weaknesses in the gym. Facing the pain while I'm eating slim. Challenging my strengths, challenging my weaknesses. The world is mischievous, it's so devious with ways and plays of misdirection, miseducation, manipulation, leading us in false direction. That's why I'm proud of my growth. Recalculated my steps to my lower chakras and balanced them proper. Healing myself, I'm my own doctor. Remembering what made me. Remembering I'm crazy. Remembering what aged me. Like when basketball was my first love and I stayed watching Tracy McGrady. Remembering why bitches, women, and goddesses love me. Remembering my teeth was fucked up for the first 15 years of my life and I thought I was ugly. Finding ways to get secure with insecures. Remembering that my snagger tooth was still pulling them too. Ask about me. Embracing I came from bros that said, what up cuz and what up low. Going up E's, 3's and C's, yet they know I'm rooted from the A-Code North. 810 is when a lot of my origins begin. I seen a lot of shit then and see a lot of shit now. I'm proud of how I decided to grow. Cocooning myself through caterpillar natures. I'm done crawling, I'm ready to fly. Getting lost in conscious thoughts. Pushed by social media propaganda. You thought because you became woke that the internet wouldn't find ways to put you into the net and trap you. The internet will trap you. Enter that net, it'll grab you. Relearning that relearning still was programming my ego from my people to not look at them as equal. Indoctrination with fabrications is the illusion we all are facing in different phases. So who am I to look in the mirror of your eyes and see the reflection of truth behind all lies through you? Human experience is the experience to experience and experiment my truth through all the versions of me, which happens to be all of you. We all the same. I'm proud to find my truth, and I found myself again, and who I've been since I was 1 through 10. I always been proud of how I grew, and will always be proud to grow again. Keep growing, nigga.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use, for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips in the balance of the favor of fair use. Welcome to Blended Healing. The consequences of having knowledge and the ability to do critical thinking is not a welcome thing amongst people. Sad to say that, but it's true. Many of us grew up hearing the phrase knowledge is power, and it's true. The other thing that we grew up with is if you want to hide something from Black people, put it in a book. that's jacked up. When we were little, we were encouraged to go to school and to learn all that we could. Education was supposed to be a ticket to a better life. What was more important was it was something that once you had it, nobody could steal it from you. Education is more than classes and books taught through the education system. It was understood that being Black in America meant education in the classroom would never be sufficient. Outside learning would be a necessity. We call it street knowledge, real life knowledge. You had to learn both sides of the coin. At least when I was growing up, you had to learn both sides so you can operate in both worlds. You feel me? You see, knowledge isn't just the wisdom that we gain sitting at the feet of our elders. It requires time and study, research, in most cases, a lot of books. You don't know how many times that some. See, I love education. I am an educator at heart. I embrace reading. I embrace knowledge. But I also embrace that street knowledge too, because you got to know how to move in this world. You see, this kind of study is not for the purpose of regurgitating the information for a test. It's about retaining that knowledge and building a foundation on which more can be learned. Learning is a lifelong thing. You're going to learn something until the day you die. People are always flipping back and forth between student and teacher. When was the last time that you sat down and read a book? When was the last time? Reading increases your vocabulary, your vernacular, as they like to say. It does that. If we are blessed with a hunger for knowledge and learning in the halls of maybe college or university, we learn how to fine tune the research process. You don't hear me. You don't hear me. Research is how we still standing. We have access to more shit now than we ever had. With discernment. Research. You want to find out something? Research it. You want to know about something? Research it. How do you get your bread? Research it. How do you get a better job? Research it. We are taught more about critical thinking and given access to greater amounts of information that we are taught to process. Being Black in America means there's always a risk involved with seeking knowledge. Let me say that one more time. Being Black in America, there's always a risk involved with seeking knowledge. Oh, you think you smart. You one of them uppity niggas, right? I said it. I said it. We are taught that what our mind is our greatest weapon. There's a responsibility and in danger of knowing the risk increases when you are a woman. There are consequences to studying and gaining knowledge and knowing that many of us never know what can come for us. Y'all don't get it. How can I make you see? We are in a critical period right now. I am so emotional about this that I really truly want to cry. We send our kids off to school so they can learn all that they can. What is the expectation of having what they learn? You would think it's to go out and get the knowledge so that we can bring it back and share as much of it as possible. Do you know when I got that lesson? I was an adult, a young adult, working, and I noticed that people of another persuasion were able to talk amongst each other and get the knowledge that they needed to do and perform their best. I was never included in that. And I said to myself, when I get information, I'm going to let everybody know when it comes to knowledge about working, sharing information to uplift people of color. That was the worst feeling ever. So now, when I got into a higher position at that company, because they had no choice but to select me to be a VP, I made sure that all my people understood what they had to do so they can succeed. And I stuck to me to this day. If I know it and if it can help somebody, I'm letting them know. I will never hold back information from people that I know that will be beneficial to them, especially knowledge. Since when did we decide that speaking to what we know, not our opinion, but our knowledge, would deem us disrespectful or out of place? Since when does that make us a know-it-all, incapable of being taught nothing? We have those people that go and get an education or not, but think that they know absolutely everything. Nobody wants to hear all that education, Blended. Nobody wants to hear all of that. You really come off as you're the smartest person in the room. Nobody wants to hear that. You think you're better than everybody, Blended. No, I don't. What I believe in is giving somebody a hand up and not a handout. That's the difference. But I realized that not everybody wants to know that. So I have to use my discernment on whether or not if I share information. Because it'll be right there on the tip of my tongue, and I got to hold it back so I don't get people all up in their feelings because they the smartest one in the room, right? They know everything. All right. I swear sometimes I'm on a different planet. I'm in a different time space than other people. Maybe it's because I was born earlier than most here. In my family, I was the first one out of my siblings, my mother and father's children, that went and graduated from college. Not once, but twice. We have elders that believe that their age and experience alone qualifies them on every matter when there are experiences they haven't had. We know the person in the family that seeks to talk over everybody because they feel the louder they are, the stronger and more accurate that they are. You feel me? People with these type of habits making communicating and having critical discussions difficult. I said it. I said it. Do you imagine how powerful we would be if we had the wisdom of the elders and the knowledge of the youngest and combine that together in our community overall at large? We have it, but ain't nobody putting it to use. It's unfortunate that when we shut down those in our circle because they don't share the same perspective that we do. And the reason they don't is because they have information others in the conversation don't have. Let's talk about it. When it comes to the space and the intelligence of the family and the community member, it's then weaponized against them due to insecurity, and a need for control that is projected on someone that is simply bringing back the knowledge that they were sent to get. When knowledge is brought back that challenges beliefs, religious indoctrination, gender beliefs, opinions, or what is deemed control of those sharing become labeled as know-it-alls, arrogant, unteachable, and out of order. God forbid you're a woman, because now you are also unladylike. Don't know what we talking about and are automatically challenged our authority. And this treatment to those that obtain and continue, this type of treatment of those that obtain and continue to seek knowledge is damaging to their self-confidence and spirit. You could begin to wonder if their only role is to agree with whatever is said, but also defend with the information when it validates others. I said it. I said it. And that can lead to a bunch of different situations of not being able to speak to any knowledgeable matter. Only the ones where the information validates and empowers those that are in authority. The consequences of study can simply be knowing. Having information and sharing it within the family respectfully. And open conversations can quickly turn into attack on the person and their intelligence. That behavior can push away those that we need most out in the family, in the community. It pushes them away from places of worship, family gatherings, and send them seeking validation and acceptance in places and spaces that could actually be dangerous. I tease and laugh all the time. When I finish, I said, I'm done, and I'm getting off my soapbox and putting my bullhorn down. For those who don't understand that old saying, is back in Harlem. That's how people spoke when they wanted to get on the corner and say what they had to say. Malcolm X did that. They would get a crate, a soapbox, they would call it, and stand on the crate with a bullhorn and start speaking their information. And some people didn't even have a bullhorn. And then when they were done, they would step down off their soapbox, put the bullhorn down, and walk away. It's dangerous for us to do that today, unless we're in our own community and our community protects us. We can't just sit back and celebrate leaders in our history and community that have learned and taught our people while berating the scholars in your own family. This is a consequence that should not exist. It's important to our growth. It's important to know the next generation is watching when the scholar is shunned. And they may choose a different path to avoid that type of outcome. They won't care if knowledge is power. They won't be willing to pay the price of being what appears to be a villain within their own family. It's about critical thinking. It helps you to see things clearer, to question deeply, and to make better decisions every day. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to see beyond the surface level of ideas and make sense of the complex situations. It's about asking good questions, examining evidence, and staying open to learning. They're trying to take that ability away from us, from our children. Because God forbid you have critical thinking. God forbid if we have our own history that they don't want us to talk about. God forbid that we upset the other little children. All right. I'm just going to give you a couple of words that you can use. Just think about it. Just for critical thinking. Just for knowledge, First thing, ask why until you're satisfied. Recognize your biases. Challenge popular opinions. Stay open to being wrong. Focus on evidence, not emotion. Ask better questions. Learn to spot logical lies. Practice active listening. Avoid over generalizations. Read widely and deeply. Practice the so what test. Break big problems into smaller ones. Think in probabilities, not certainties. Surround yourself with thoughtful people. Take time before responding. Experiment with new perspectives. Stay skeptical without being cynical. Use if, then thinking. Reflect on your decisions. And stay humble. Critical thinking is a journey. No one ever fully masters the art of critical thinking. Embrace the process of learning, questioning, and growing. Humility keeps your mind open to new ideals and deeper insights. And before I end, may I offer to you an affirmation that I used to say almost on a daily basis. I am a spiritual warrior. I am responsible for what I believe. I am choosing to believe the truth. I am choosing to surrender to the truth. I am a spiritual warrior. I am responsible for what I believe. I am choosing to believe the truth. I am choosing to surrender to the truth. I am shows creation. A spiritual warrior is who you are. I am shows creation. Taking the responsibility for what I believe. I am is showing creation. Choosing is your choice. To believe in the truth of things. I am choosing to surrender to the truth. Ashe and deep bow to each and every one of you. And I shall see you all very soon.
Mississippi River, black leaves in the Mississippi fire, black leaves in the Mississippi choir, black leaves on the Mississippi land, and we've got cotton, we've got sons and daughters, we